On this episode of ResiWeek, we talk Sync by GE Lighting, Samsung's new sustainability pledges. All this and more on this episode of ResiWeek.
The network for the AV industry.
What are you listening to?
This
is AV.
This
is AVNation.
This is AVNation.
This is ResiWeek, episode 310, CES wrap-up.
Support for AVNation is brought to you by FSR.
Welcome to this episode of ResiWeek. This is your weekly roundup of all the latest news and stories for the residential AV industry. I'm your host, Matty Scott for AVNation.tv. This week, I'm pleased to be joined by two of my good friends. First, we have Mr. Jeremy Glowacki. He is the executive editor at Residential Tech Today and a hardcore Dogs fan who, when this airs, hopefully will be a very happy Dogs fan. How you doing, Jeremy?
I'm doing great, Matt. And yeah, I'm afraid to say anything about the game just because
Nope, not yet.
Everything is a jinx at this point.
Yep.
I don't even know what socks to wear anymore or shirt to the game. I am going to the game. Yeah, you know, my one bad decision on what to wear, that lucky item, could make the difference. So I've got to be really careful.
Just wear completely different products.
Something you've
That's
never
what
worn
you
before for a game.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. Go buy new clothes. 100%. Yeah. Send your wife out to pick you up on the way home.
Right.
You'll be good to go. Then we have Seth Johnson. He is a software development manager for Blackwire Design. How you doing, Florida man?
Doing great. And don't shower, Jeremy. That's key. Just
Yes.
No showers.
No showers. I'm just going to go down that route, but I'm not going to. You'll leave it alone. This is airing on Wednesday, but we're recording on Monday. It's the Monday following CES. So we're going to talk a bunch of CES-related news. This comes to us from CE Pro. CES 2022. Savant's GE Lighting division has added a new thermostat, outdoor camera, and more lights to their Sync with a C ecosystem. These are all controllable via the Sync app. Their Matter protocol integration is going to be coming later in 2022. Take a look at the article, and if you want more in depth on it, on the products, you can go to the GE Lighting link that's in that article to see some of those products a little bit closer. Jeremy, these look fairly good, right? The products look good. They look like something you're going to pick up off the shelf at Lowe's or Home Depot. And I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. What does Sync have to do to be competitive in that DIY smart space?
Yeah, that's a tough question because it is something that can get easily lost on a shelf and in one of those big box stores. And without, frankly, an ad campaign that you start to know as a consumer what this product is and who's behind it, I think that they're depending on that GE name to stand out. That's something that I think the reason why Savant made the purchase on acquisition on this brand. That's something that they saw as an opportunity to say, hey, a lot of people, as much as Savant tried to do a little more of a consumer play at one point, they've tried to be sort of consumer friendly with the Apple connection. A little bit more than your typical industry focused, CI focused automation brands. They didn't really have a brand name. Savant isn't a name that your average consumer is going to know. I think the closest we get these days is Sonos as far as brand names. For your average maybe hobbyist or someone who wants to just DIY or have a little control over their audio systems, that type of thing. But I think that the GE might help them, but without a big campaign where you start to learn about these products and have some name recognition, it's a tough one. And I do think that it's a category with the attractive smart thermostat that is a very hot category as far as finding ways to get an automation play in the DIY space and added temperature sensors throughout rooms, playing that whole more comfort angle. I can see that starting to happen. Obviously, smart cameras are security is a big play as well, and to DIY that could work. but you're competing on a shelf with a lot of other brands that may have already been more established. So it's not an easy one to get conquered. Hopefully for them, that GE name does stand out, and people say, "Oh, well, that's a reliable brand I've heard of before." Obviously,
It's crazy to me to think that we're talking about GE not being a recognizable brand on a shelf.
well, no, I think it will be.
Makes-
I mean,
I get it. But when we start talking smart spaces, it's if you see them up beside Ring cameras,
well, yeah.
no one's going to think GE. They're going to look at Ring and go, yeah, I know those guys.
I know. That's why they start with the lighting, obviously, and GE bulbs and all that. And everyone's been so familiar with that. So maybe it's just it's where they end up, I guess, if they're somehow connected to lighting together, but that's not typically on that same shelf. So it may be hard.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch. Seth, the side of this that I find intriguing is the integration with Matter and what they're going to do with the Matter protocol. Does that open the door for Sync to be, shall we say, a little bit more effective and a little bit more in our world? Or is it still going to get lost? And I don't think we can say what Matter is going to look like in the next year yet. But does this give them some leg up, maybe?
I think it just kind of it's one of those they're going to where they're skating to where the puck is. I guess is going.
Hockey
Like we're not
reference on a football day. Interesting.
Football, puck, hockey. Yeah. Field goals. Yeah. Had to say that while you were drinking.
Thank you.
So Matter is this year from all aspects. Everything that I've been reading and understanding from people in the industry, Matter is hitting the shelves this year. So there's going to be a pretty big rollout. So they have to be there. It's kind of one of those things. If there are products that aren't participating in that ecosystem in some way, then they're probably going to be left behind. But I think it's going to be a big checkbox for manufacturers to get on their boxes and stickers, slapped on if they didn't make it for production.
With Matter.
Yeah, Matter stickers. That outside, like all of these, the thermostats, the cameras, the sensors, they're adding into their ecosystem, more devices to do more automation within their product line, and that makes a lot of sense. I've seen a lot of feedback from DIYers. If you go online and kind of look through the forums and things, that the product it seems to have maybe some issues. I don't know. I'm not too sure. But reliability is going to be at the top of everyone's mind, both DIY and in this industry. We want products that are 100% reliable. And I don't know if what we're seeing with them from these posts, clearly the people need tech support and that kind of thing. But I don't know if it's software related or hardware related or what. I have no idea. But it would be interesting to see Matter kind of layered on top, where you don't have to use the sync software. Essentially, you're just relying on that hardware to do its thing, and then you can use whatever smart assistant or automation platform that is Matter compatible to execute scenes and that kind of thing, or take in information from the thermostat. All that stuff could be run on HomeKit or Google or Amazon platforms without having to involve a third party's app. And I really think that's the way it should be. You should be able to switch back and forth, and Matter just becomes kind of like an API between devices, for lack of a better term. It's a little bit more than that, but let's just call it an API.
Hey, thanks for watching the first segment of this week's episode. To catch the entire show, please click the link below or visit avnation.tv. That's avnation.tv.